our mics are on. Hi, everyone.
Hi, good
Welcome back
evening.
to Navajo Tea Time Live. So, today's October 8th, and I guess we'll just get started with Roses and Thorns.
Should we do our introductions?
I don't
All
know.
right. Okay. All right. So what's your rose?
um, oh my goodness. I always start with me.
Okay, I'll start. So, um, for everyone watching, I'm Adrian, and we usually do this thing at the beginning of our episodes. We do roses and thorns, something good, something bad, or yeah. Um, so I started journaling again, and that's been kind of cool because I didn't do it for a long time. And I was going through some of my stuff in my closet and I found some of my old journals that I started in like 2021, 2022, 2023, and they only go maybe like 3 months. Like that's as far as like so there's like a little tiny portion that's filled up and then the rest is blank. So I was and I got really nice journals too. Like I got like the leather bound journals or like, those things are not cheap either. So I was like, well, I need to use it. So I started I kind of like did some rearranging. I moved a few things around and kind of consolidated stuff. And now I have like some new journals to start out next year in 2026. So that's kind of cool. And then I went through my little bag of supplies and I found like all my washi tape and my stamps and my quill scissors and my mild liners. So yeah, that was kind of cool. And I got some new journals too. So my thing is, so I was going to share this one. So this is one that I got. I was buying bullet journals and I would get like my name engraved and everything on there. But this one was like really cheap and I got it at Target. I think it was like not even $10. And it's a bullet journal. And I started this and it's kind of cool. Like, look, I did my first little like I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'm like tracking stuff now. Um, Kind of excited about it. And I decided I'm not going to go all crazy with like color and stickers and stamps and all that. Like, I'm just going to get into the practice of writing again, right? Because that was the thing is like I would get so caught up in decorating it. And then it would just become this thing where it was like, well, this is a little bit too much or I don't have the time. Then I wouldn't do it. So I'm just going to try to do it like all black pen and just get the habit down. So this is the start of this journal is going to be like my quarterly journal, like the last 90 days of the year. And I have like a couple goals that I wrote down for October, November, and December that are mostly related to like health, fitness, wellness, and budgeting and debt reduction. So those are kind of like my main goals for the rest of the year. So that's kind of exciting. And then I bought this one. This one's gonna help me. It's called the 5 Minute Journal. I actually went to Target and I went kind of crazy. I bought like these three journals, and this one's cool because there's a whole like a process that outlines like the first chapter, but the rest of the journal it's just like you're aiming for 5 minutes a day, which is basically what you're grateful for in the morning, what would make today great, your daily affirmations, and that's it. And then like in the evening, it's basically your highlights of the day and like what did you learn today. So you're answering that question. So really simple prompts. It's the same every single day. And this is supposed to carry me for the next 3 months. So same thing, it's supposed to kind of set that routine. And the cool part is you have to kind of make a commitment to it. And that's kind of the thing that I really didn't do before, kind of like holding yourself accountable to the practice. And in this booklet, you're writing out that your goal is to write for 5 minutes a day, and if you meet that goal, you're gonna write in like a little reward for yourself. And if you don't, then you have to kind of like you have to promise to do something that you kind of don't want to do, but it's gonna. I mean, you know what I mean? So it's almost like a penalty, I guess.
Mhm.
So if I can do this, if I can write for 5 minutes a day, fill up this journal, and get this practice in place, I'm going to reward myself with a staycation at a local resort, which is something I've really been wanting to do and just haven't done. And there's some really nice resorts in this area. And then if I don't do it, I'm going to promise to run a 5K charity race. No, a 10K charity race, which is over 6 miles. And that's painful. So I'm going to try. I'll keep you guys updated. And then a couple months ago, I got a travel journal. And it was a kind of travel journal that, like, I don't know, like, there was a lot of blank space. And there were a few, like, sections that you could fill out to kind of track. But I mean, it was basically, I had to do all the work. And I don't know, like, I realized that I just don't have it in me to do all that. Not right now. So I went and I got this other journal. It's called the Bon Voyage Travel Journal. I don't know if you can see that, but it's like all blown out. But, anyways, it's really cute because it's colorful already and the layout's really cute. And you're basically planning for your travel. So there's like a budget page, a plan page, which is basically stuff you have to do before the trip, a pack page, a checklist page, so things you have to do before you leave. And then there's activities, like 2 activity pages, so things that you want to do and hope to see. And then your favorites, your favorite key moments, which are kind of cool because you get to relive, your trip. And then there's a journal section to kind of wrap it up. And then there's like 2 capture pages where you can kind of like put little photos or sketches or I don't know, like glue or tape in some stickers and stuff or like ticket stubs, stuff like that. So this is gonna be fun. And I know I'm already like planning what I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna write about my first trip. Okay, and then this is the last one. I got a reading journal. So I don't know if I told you. Oh yeah, remember I was telling you last time that Sarah was like, if you want to make friends, you have to get out there.
Yeah,
And
your book club. You were talking about your book club.
yes, and she was like, you should join a book club. So I joined a book club. I joined the Reading is Medicine book club, and the first book that we're assigned is called The Paranormal Ranger by Stanley Milford. Yeah, Stanley Milford Jr. And I've been reading it, almost done. But I got this journal because I figure if I'm going to be getting assigned books and I'm going to have to go to meetings and stuff and talk about those books, I may as well like use this opportunity to kind of write things down and again get into the practice of writing and documentation because I really love to do that. I was looking at my old journals and I was like, man, like this used to be so fun. Like, why didn't I keep it up? So now I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to do it because I love documenting things. It's like one of my favorite things, and it always comes in handy. So, because then you get to kind of like look back, and you're like, oh, I remember that, or that was really fun, or that was really stressful, or I remember those awful people.
Yeah.
So that's my rose. I'm like super excited about it. And then my thorn is, oh, so the trip I'm planning for is an international trip. And so I started budgeting, and that's kind of a big part of the 90-day plan is to just get my money right.
Mhm.
And so what that means, though, is that it's putting a limit on the things I want to do and want to buy.
Mhm.
So, like this month is a no spend month. So I know I bought journals, but that's like mental health aid. That's health.
That doesn't count.
That doesn't count. But like, like there's things I want to do. Like I want to go to the theater and watch movies, but that's like, dang, it's all super expensive now to go to the theater. Especially with the family. I want to buy concert tickets. I'm not buying concert tickets. Mike and I have been wanting to go away for the weekend, and that's not going to happen. So I'm just kind of like um, finding ways to like fill my time instead. So that's what these are. This keeps me out of stores and offline.
Right? And like those online shops, they make it so easy to just like click and
Oh my
buy, and
god.
like they just remember all of your information. It's like,
Seriously, like I bought my son so many Dixon flannels just because I see the ads and I'm like, ooh, he would like that. And then I get it, and it's like, oh, Apple Pay, it's so easy.
I think I saw a reel that like someone didn't know Apple Pay was real money and not
Ooh,
like store credit money.
no.
And so she just kept buying things on Apple Pay. Didn't know it's connected to her credit card. And I'm like, oh no.
Oh no.
It's
Or
horrible.
don't do that, viewers. Apple pays real money.
Right? So for me, a rose for me, I think yesterday I spent like a lot of the afternoon at Change Labs, and I reconnected with one of my Change Labs alumni. Like we were in the same cohort class together.
Oh, yeah, nice.
And she was talking because I was like sitting there trying to figure out, trying to like mind map for 2016. A bunch of
Oh,
like different videos were popping up on my feed saying, "Oh, right now is the perfect time to try and set your goals and set your intentions for next year, because you'll
yeah.
be starting them. You'll be like pre-gaming your goals, and so when you're in January, you're not doing a cold start. You're already warmed up and ready to start those goals or be kind of on track for some of those goals." So I was trying to think of like what kind of planner do I want. I know I'm really picky about my layouts. That's why I originally started bullet journaling,
Mm-hmm.
but then I just didn't have the like mental bandwidth to keep creating spreads all
Oh
the
my
time
god, really
these
on the
past couple
same
years.
wavelength.
Right?
We,
And so her name's Crystal. Remember she did our first logos when we first started.
oh, Crystal Do Guy,
Yeah,
yeah.
so she was at
Cool.
the Change Labs too, and we were talking, and she I guess she saw me kind of like doodling little layouts. It's like, do you
Mm-hmm.
bullet journal? And I'm like, I used to. I'm kind of thinking if I should go back or just try and find a journal that works, or just make one online and print it out myself. And it's like, it's so easy to make your own planner, but there's so much
Mm-hmm.
work ahead of time for that. So we kind of like, oh, we should get together and like bullet journal and goal set and plan together for next year.
Lucky.
And so we set a
That's
date. So
cool.
I have somebody to like really geek out with about productivity. And it was just like, I was like, oh my goodness, someone else who likes to talk about planners.
Nice. That's so awesome. I'm so happy
So
for
I made
you.
a friend date.
Yay! That's freaking cool. I
Because
love
like
it.
one of my biggest things is being like self-employed. I'm my own boss. I run my own business. If I don't want to do something, there's no one there to make me do it. Like my partners are my husband and my younger brother. They're not going to tell me to do anything.
Yeah.
So it's like
And
I and I was like, I need an accountability partner, someone to be like, hey, did you do that thing you said you were gonna do 3 months ago? And it's like, maybe. So that's what I really need, is like an accountability partner, someone to be like, hey, you set these goals. Did you accomplish anything? Like,
mm-hmm.
fine, I'll do it. But yeah, that's one of them. Um, yeah, and then spooky season is always my favorite season. October, it's getting colder. It's actually nice to go outside. So I've been
Mm-hmm.
spending a lot more time outside with my son. We've been going on morning walks just around the
Mm-hmm.
neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Because my kids, they love walking, like just walking
Mm-hmm.
anywhere, like hiking. And I like it too, but they love it. So,
Mm. Nice.
so it's nice weather to be able to do that now.
That's cool. That's what we've been doing too. We went on our first walk around the neighborhood 2 nights ago, and that was fun. And then I actually planted some flowers, like, and so yeah, like, well, so I planted flowers earlier in the year, and they are looking so good now. And then there were a couple, like an aloe vera plant
Mm-hmm.
and a yucca plant, and they didn't make it. Unfortunately, they got cooked.
Mm-hmm.
So I replaced them. They're actually like shrubs, and but they bloom too. So I planted those. I transplanted them, and I was afraid. One of them is really. I watched all these videos on that plant in particular, and people are saying like it's really finicky, like it's delicate, and a lot of them they don't like to be transplanted at all. Like, sometimes they'll just like die. So like I give up. I don't like it here. But I was like talking to it the whole time. I was like, please survive. I need you in my life. I
Right.
love you. I'll take care of you. Yeah. And it's doing really well. And so I'm really happy about that. And then like these big storms came a couple weeks ago and watered everything, and it was so nice.
I thought you were gonna say they all died. I'm like, oh no! But
Mm-mm.
okay.
Yeah, no, they're happy. Like even the trees, their branches are up like this now.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then there was this plant growing in my roses, and I
Mm-hmm.
posted it on my Instagram. And I'm like, I finally figured out what it was. I was really staring at it, and I'm like, you're basil. And I picked a leaf and I smelt it.
Ooh,
I'm like, yes, this is basil. And I was so
nice.
weirded out because I haven't planted basil in like a couple of years, like 2 or 3 years.
Wow.
Like I planted once and then it seeded
Mm-hmm.
and like just spread its seeds everywhere, I guess. And it kept
Mm-hmm.
coming back. So I didn't plant
Mm-hmm.
them. And then one year it didn't come back. I was like, okay, it's fine. I don't eat much basil anyways. I don't need all of that basil.
Mm-hmm.
And then another one just popped up in my rose
Wow.
bush.
Nice.
It was so
That's so
weird.
I really want to plant a rose bush. I want to plant a couple of them, but I'm kind of scared too because I don't know how. But I'm gonna Google it or like YouTube it and figure it out.
I don't know.
I've
I don't.
been I've been trying to sorry I've been trying to stick to like plants that are heat resistant.
Mm, I don't know if they're heat resistant too much. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're heat tolerant. They go dormant when
Mm-hmm.
it gets too hot. Like during like
Uh,
July and September and August, they kind of stop flowering and just kind of like go dormant. But
mm-hmm.
now that it's cooling off again, they're flowering again.
Mm-hmm.
And I know like down in Tombstone, they have like the longest living rose tree. It's now a tree. It's no longer a bush. My mom really wanted to see it flowering, but we showed up
Mm-hmm.
too early. We were there in like February.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. If you go back to like Vlogmas a couple years ago, you'll see the Vlogmas of us going to Tombstone, I think.
Mm-hmm. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like a rose tree. It was like up in like a canopy.
Wow. That's
So
so freaking
they
cool.
can last a while if you take care of them.
Okay, I'm gonna try it. I really want roses. When I get mad, I turn into the Queen of Hearts. I'm like, roses, see my rose is red. And Michael's like, what
Same.
the heck? But
One of my thorns is my little one. He's in his terrible twos, and he is
mm.
terribly chewing all over the place right now. Yeah. He turned 2 and he's like, that's it. I'm 2 and I'm in a
Mhm.
terrible 2. It's like, oh
Yep.
my goodness. Okay. And then our
Mhm.
cat came in from being out all night one morning and had like a huge scratch.
Hickeys?
No, a
Ew.
scratch in its neck. Like it got in a fight or something, tried to like,
Oh no, really?
yeah. So we looked at it. It wasn't bleeding. We looked up kind of how to treat it with like some saline and just keep an eye on it. So we are. He does. doesn't seem too affected. He's more annoyed that we're not letting him outside.
Oh yeah.
Because we're like, you gotta heal before you go outside and get your neck all infected. I don't want to go to the vet.
Poor thing.
You know?
Yeah. Dang.
Yeah, so.
So sad. Um, there was something else I was gonna mention, but now it's slipped my mind. Oh well. But yeah,
It'll
it was
pop up.
something about back to the roses and thorns conversation. But yeah. Anyways,
Alright, so
cool.
that's
Great catch
me.
up.
Um, Brody or I can't. His name is gone now, so I don't know if it's Brody or Brady, but I think it's Brody.
It's Brady.
Brady. Okay, horrible name. I'm so bad at names. I'm sorry.
He's like your number one fan.
He is. He has a little crown and number one next to his comments right now on the live. I'm so bad at names. Anyways,
We have his address, right?
I don't. I think so in one of our documents.
Well, I think he's going on the Christmas list.
He was asking him, "Will you be at the Navajo Nation fair?"
Ah, the one in Tuba.
Yeah, the Western fair. Yeah.
Hmm. I'm not gonna be able to because I'm on a budget, unfortunately.
I might be in the parade with my husband's company.
Oh my God! Really?
Yeah, they want families to be a part
Ooh,
of the parade.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
If not, I'll probably be at the Change Labs brunch.
Nice.
Not brunch, breakfast. It's breakfast. It stops at like when the parade starts. But
Oh, that's cool. Dude, so many cool things happening back home.
breakfast is
Oh, I
free.
heard the running club. Oh, is it?
Yeah. So you don't have to spend
Uh,
any money.
yeah, but I have to get down there. When is the fair? Is it next weekend?
um, it's the weekend of the 16th. It's not
Oh,
next weekend. It's like in 2 weeks.
no, I have an event I have to go to on the 17th. And then the next day, I have my parents are coming to visit. So I got to host them. And parent teacher conferences are happening. So,
We just had mine with my little one before this.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just did a virtual one because like,
Oh,
oh, today's
cool.
the only day we can go to Flag and do it. I'm like, we can't go to Flag because we gotta do Navajo Tea Time.
How's she doing?
She's doing good.
That's awesome. Yay.
Yep.
What grade is she in now? Fourth?
Third.
Third, yeah. Okay. Oh, she's only like a year older than Bashi, huh?
Kind of like a couple months, I think.
Yeah.
Here
That's
in,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, he went to, we had his parent teacher conferences too the beginning of the month, and he's doing pretty good. Um, but like, I think he has to improve on his reading, so we have to read to him every night, and he has to read to us, so bummer. Just kidding. I'm just teasing.
I'm horrible at reading. Like, yeah. I didn't even finish that book you bought me. Like I was reading it and I'm like
Oh, stop.
I can't get into the way this person's writing. You know, I can't get into that narrative. So
Really, I was actually gonna send you the book I'm reading now too, like a copy of it.
mhm. It sounds
But now,
interesting.
it is interesting. I think you have to, yeah, I think you would like it. There's stuff in there that I think you'd be interested in. But at the same time, I don't know. Now that
Well,
I know you don't read the books I sent you,
no,
I'm
no, no.
just kidding.
That one book, like I like spooky, scary books, but I couldn't get in the way the voice of the writer or the
Mm-hmm.
way the voice of the person, the character. I couldn't get in their POV, and
What
it
book
just
was it?
um,
I forgot.
only good Indian.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I know that was a hard read actually.
I was really trying to get into it, but I was like, I can't.
Mm-hmm.
I just
Yeah.
can't. So, but I've like read another book after that. I think yeah, it was another. It was a detective book.
There's one called, I think it's called Never Whistle at Night. That's a good one. It's a compilation of short, scary stories, which would be kind of cool to review here.
Mhm.
for Halloween. But yeah, the first story is crazy. Oh my god. I was reading it with Alex and she's all, what the heck is this? This is sick. It's not crazy. But yeah,
It's
if
so
anyone read
funny
that, let us
because
know your
my
thoughts.
little one, like Frankie, my husband watches like it's called like Nuke's Top Five or whatever, and they like review like spooky online videos and everything. And she'll go like, "Is this real life?" And I'm like, "I don't know. It's maybe, maybe not,
Mm-hmm.
because you don't know, Or
Yeah.
we'll be watching scary movies or action movies. She's like, "Is this real life?" Like, no, it's a fake show. Okay, good, because I don't want to deal with those creatures in real life. I was like, okay. I can't remember what we were watching, but it was like fantastical and fantasy, so it was like fantasy creatures like dragons and like
Mhm.
centaurs or whatever. And she's like, "Is this real life?" Like, no. It's like, good. I couldn't handle that.
Cute.
Yeah.
We've been watching like movies every evening because Bahi's on break now, on
Hmm.
his little fall break. So we watched The Rescuers Down Under last night, and then we watched what was that other movie? It was like a kid movie. Oh, The Sword and the Stone.
Oh, love that one.
Yeah, I know. I love that movie. And then we're looking for The Brave Little Toaster on on Amazon Prime, and I couldn't find it. They only have like the sequels, which I didn't even know there were sequels. There's two of them.
Hmm.
So now I gotta dig out our DVD because I know we have it on DVD somewhere.
Right? I hate that, like, I don't know. None of my Blu-ray or DVD players lasted long. Like they were built
Really?
to break and never.
Mm.
So now I have like so many DVDs I can't watch, and I don't want to like buy all those prescription subscriptions to watch the movies I want to watch. And some of
Mm-hmm.
my DVDs are so old that like I had my brother's Xbox 360 or Xbox One for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and I tried watching The Crow, but it was like an old
Oh.
DVD of The Crow, and it's like, we don't recognize this format. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And it's so hard. I can't find it online, or like maybe it's
Mm-hmm.
Paramount or something, but Miramax is no longer a
Dang.
corporation. So,
I know. Like, I wonder who made Brave Little Toaster because we can't find that one either. So, yeah, I gotta hunt it down. Like, I wanted to watch it digitally too because I didn't want to have to go through all of our DVDs, which are packed away.
yeah.
But now I think I'm gonna have to. I've been looking for Chungking Express too for the longest time, and I can't find it. I always go to Barnes and Noble too to like dig through the Criterion collection. I know I could probably go online and order it, but I'm just like, I don't know.
What is it?
I like to dig. It's called Chungking Express. Have you seen it?
Doesn't sound
Really
familiar.
good. Oh my god, it's like one of my favorites. There was this time period back in the day, like in the 90s, when Sundance Film Festival, they kind of were showing, they did like a preview for like, I don't know, it was probably like 6 months or something, maybe even a year, where anyone with basic cable had access to Sundance Films.
Hmm.
And that was the first time I saw that movie, and it is so amazing. It's by Wong Kar Wai. That's how you say his name. Or
Sometimes
Wong.
I go to like gas stations, and they
Hmm.
have like the DVD bargain bin section that have some really good. I found some really good Asian horror films.
Really?
Yeah, but I can't watch them because I don't have a DVD player.
Well, now I know what to get you for Christmas.
And like you can find like I used to go to Hastings in like the international section and
Hmm.
try and find some really cool DVDs. I like bought so many when they were going out of business, and they're like
Hmm.
75% off. I'm like, I'm gonna take you, I'm gonna take you, and I'm gonna take you. Yeah.
Wow.
So what are you doing for spooky season?
mm, Truthfully, I think I might be. God, I don't know if I should even share this information, but I think I might be. God, I'm kind of scared to share certain information online now. But I I don't think I will be able to celebrate that evening because I'm going to be busy doing something else.
Mm.
So yeah, I was because like before I was like, oh, we're gonna watch movies, we're gonna go trick or treating, we're getting all dressed up, da da da. But now I think I'm gonna end up having to do something else, something more like family oriented, obligatory, not fun. Just kidding. I know,
Yeah,
but I did decorate. My house is all decorated inside now, and I'm about to take out Oogie Boogie from the garage. So.
that's cool. We usually go all out with like decorations,
Mm-hmm.
but not a lot of people show up for trick or treating because
Mm-hmm.
you just see a little light in like there's nothing in the desert. So we were thinking about not spending so much money on decorations, but maybe like looking for different Halloween events, like pumpkin patches or like, little spooky events here and in town, and just mainly focus on that, little
Yeah.
memories for the kids.
Mm-hmm. That
Um,
sounds like.
so not spend all our money on candy and decorations, but like, oh, we'll like go to little events throughout the
Mm-hmm.
month.
Yeah, I was at this event last Friday, and it was at the Princess. It's like this really nice um, resort, and they have a pumpkin patch. And I saw them getting it all set up. It looks really freaking cool, and I kind of want to go there. But I'm like, I'm trying not to spend any money this month, so I might have to earn some extra money somehow. So
Yeah.
you might see me at the club. Just kidding.
Who goes to the club? My little one, her school, they're taking them to the pumpkin patch. Like they're taking the kids to a pumpkin patch for a field
Really
trip. Yeah.
nice. That's cool. I remember that. I remember when the kids went to school in Flag, they used to do that, and it was cute. This is like this pumpkin patch though. It's like extra. It is so like
It's at a place called the Princess. What
I
else would you
know
expect?
it's so extra, and like the princess also does this winter wonderland thing too during the winter, and they have like a skating rink, and they have like these igloos. You can like have a little like I don't know if it's a real. It's probably not a real fire pit, but they bring you like hot cocoa. It's like so extra,
Hmm.
and it's expensive, but it's really cool. And that's kind of why I'm like, oh, I want to go, but then I'm like, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Okay. Hi Phil, nice to see you again. I know we kind of changed up our times and days, and it was hard for you to get back on, but it's good to see you again or hear from you on the chat. So our next topic is we kind of want to keep in like the spooky realm. So like spooky places, haunted places. Like, how would you define that on the Navajo Nation? Because like right now, I've been cheating on my research and just typing it into like the Google AI, and I'm like, tell me this, and like if it's something worthy to dig into, I'll like take kind of like using Wikipedia. We just like
Hmm.
you find the keynotes and then you go further, deeper
Hmm.
into the research. But when I type that into the Google, it's like there's no official supernatural places on the Navajo Nation because they just don't talk about it. I was like, yeah, I guess so.
Well, touche.
But like, growing up here and like remembering different stories of like people always talking about like the old boarding school and other BIA schools being haunted,
Hmm.
and I always hear stories or people being really creepy about like central Navajo, like around Window Rock and those foresty areas, about everything being really scary and creepy there. And then I guess like everyone, every culture, they're like grave sites or graveyards are kind of
Hmm.
doda. You don't go
Yeah.
next to them or be around them.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say this too, but I thought that might be a little insensitive. But you can say what you're.
Oh yeah. So we so we have this like Google document where we kind of write our notes down beforehand. And my answer was, so the question was, what would you define as haunted or a scary place in the Navajo Nation? And I wrote Highway 264 through Hopi.
I was thinking about that
And
too. I was like driving through Hopi at
but
night.
it's not insensitive, it's a fact. It's scary. Like there's so many scary stories, like from Tuba through coal mine and then like through Hopi and then
Mm-hmm.
even like beyond that toward like that goes straight toward Chinle. You know what I mean? Or
Mm-hmm.
like Grease, like through Greasewood and toward Ganado and right to the heart of Chinle, where you say are the spookiest places and people.
Places and people.
Oh, did I add that? Hey, just kidding. But like, and the reason why I say this is because, well, first of all, I like growing up, I had friends who were Hopi who lived like at the various villages, and they would always tell scary stories. So, and I also have friends and family that are from coal mine. They used to always tell like crazy stories of that highway, and I never really encountered anything, um, except for one night. I was I found myself with an an artist who's pretty well known, um, and a DJ, and we they were doing a show, and I think it was in Crown Point, and we went out there and we're hanging out, and then we started like hanging out with the locals, and we left really late, and we didn't want to stay the night, and I wanted to go home, right? So we stayed kind of late, but then we hit the road and we drove through the res, and we found ourselves on 264. And I was sitting, the artist, he was in the back seat, and the DJ was driving, and I was sitting shotgun, and I was like getting super tired, so I was like, is it okay if I like close my eyes for a bit? He's like, yeah, sure. So I leaned my chair back, and the other dude was already crashed out. So I leaned my seat back, and just as I was falling asleep, I hear the guy who's driving be like, "Oh!" He like yelled, and then I heard something hit the car and like fly over, and I was like, "What the heck was that?" I jumped up, and he was still driving super fast with his hands on the steering wheel, and he looked at me and he went back and he just kept going, and I was like, "Dude, like you need to pull over, like what the heck was that?" And he was like, "I'm not pulling over," and I was like, "Dude, like you need to pull over, what the hell?" And then he did, like a few miles down, and I was like, "What was that?" I was like, "Did you hit a sheep or something?" Because it looked fluffy. And he was like, "No, that wasn't a sheep." I'm like, "What was it?" He was like, he was like, it looked like a coyote or a wolf, and it was sitting on like in the middle of the road. And as we were approaching it, it started running away, like directly away, not to the right or left, but away.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said it turned around and it looked like right at him into his eyes, and it just like he said it like smiled, and he could see the teeth. Yeah, and then he hit it, and I was like, "Oh crap!" And he was like so freaked out. He was so scared. And he's like, "Oh my God, I'm going to have to get a ceremony done after this." And I was like, "Dude." And then I was like, "I'm going to stay up, okay?" I was like, "Do you want me to drive?" And he was like, "No, no, no, I'll drive. Just stay up with me." And I was like, "Okay." And then we made it home. But that was crazy. And then another time, this didn't happen to me, this happened to my dad. So my dad used to be a police officer, and one day or one night he was driving through on that highway, and he there was a call that an older lady had made, for a certain reason, and so he went to her house to check up on her, and on the way to her house there was a hitchhiker, and he pulled over, and it was a young lady, and so he was like, he's not going to let some young lady just like be walking on the side of the road by herself at night, so he pulled over, And he like was like, "Hey, where are you going?" And she said, "I'm going to the next village. Can I get your ride?" He's like, "Yeah." So she got in the. I think she didn't get in the back. She got. I think she got in the front. I don't remember, but she got in the car. But he said they were driving, and then and then like before they got to the next village, though, she was like, "I'm gonna get off right here." And so he pulled off, and she stepped out, and she instead of shutting the door kind of stayed open, and he looked over there like, "Hey, can you shut the door?" And there was nothing there. And then he was like, "What the heck? Like, where did she go?" So he shut the door and took off, and he went to that lady's house. And then while he was at that lady's house, she had a bunch of pictures on her wall, and he saw a picture of that person who he picked up, and he was like, "Oh, hey, like, who is that?" And she said, "Oh, that's my daughter." And he was like, "Oh, does she live here?" And she's like, "No, she passed away."
Creepy stories.
And my dad has a lot of stories like that, like of ghosts and hitchhikers and ghost hitchhikers. Yeah.
My grandma told me one recently. We were like driving back from one of her appointments, and
Mm-hmm.
so lately she's been talking about like what she used to do when she was little. Like she used to live with her grandparents. So they'd walk from like Gray Mountain to just below Tuba City, down in Curly
Mm-hmm.
Valley. And she said one time she was walking alone, like between Shadow Mountain and Gray Mountain, and she was just walking alone, and then she felt like she wasn't alone anymore, and she felt like there was just something behind her, and she just
Ew.
kept walking and just kept walking. She's like, "But I was alone, but I wasn't alone." She's like, "I don't know if you'll believe me, but those are my stories." I was like, "Okay, Grandma." She'll just like bring up random stuff like that all the
You're
time.
like, why did you say that?
I was like, "Okay, Grandma." But yeah, I think she was just like looking out there. She's like, "Oh yeah, that memory I have," you know.
Mm-hmm. I know my uncle said that he and his friends were out partying that way too, kind of like closer to coal mine though, but it
Hmm.
was on along that same highway. And they pulled off toward the canyon and they were like partying and stuff. And then he said they heard something like in the canyon, and they're like, "What was that?" Someone's heard it, and then they were like, "It was like a noise," and then they noticed it again, but it was closer. And then they were like, "I think something's coming." And then someone's all like looking in the distance, and they were like, "There's something dark over there." Like, everyone get in the vehicle. They were in a truck. Get in the truck, and they all jumped in the truck, and they shut the doors and like the windows were up, and they said something ran up and like bam hit the side of the truck, and then it started to hit all over the truck, like the bed, the doors, the roof, the hood, like everything. And he said it sounded like there were like 100 hands. It was crazy, and they're all screaming their heads off. They were so scared, and I'm just like sitting there like, oh my god, that's crazy. Like, who are you hanging out with and where were you at? Because I'm never going there and I don't want to hang out with those people. So yeah, it's nuts. But yeah, I think so. To me, like that highway is pretty crazy because I've heard so many stories about it.
Yeah, it is pretty spooky.
Yeah.
Like I was looking into like different like canyons or spots, like some like I know a lot of Western American culture has like, oh, these mountains are haunted or these lakes and rivers and whatever are haunted. So I tried to figure out if like there was correlating stories on Navajo. And I was thinking
Oh,
of the one that the Ghost Adventures guys
mm-hmm.
did on their
Oh, the
series.
color.
Yeah, they called it Skinwalker Canyon, but I think it had a different name.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Skinwalker Ranch.
no, the Skinwalker
Oh,
Canyon. It's like
oh.
in New Mexico next to what was it called? Clearwater or Sweetwater or something out
Mm-hmm.
that way. But it's a different name. But that's what they called it. And I was looking at all like the back and forth of everything
Mm-hmm.
about the drama of that episode, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
because there was a lot of inaccurate cultural stories and like ceremonies. I think one
Mhm.
of the lady or the one of the person who was supposed to be like the cultural explainer or whatever, she gave the guys peyote without telling them. She just said it was a tea. So they were out in that canyon tripping, tripping, and they're like, "Did you see that?" I don't know, like, and they didn't realize it until they got back and like came down. They're like, "What did she do to us?"
See, those New Mexico Navajos are all wild. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so I was trying to see like if there was any like versions on our side, like from our culture, that have those stories, but there wasn't really much. Just us, you know, like personal anecdotes here and there.
Well,
Cause,
I think there's a few like that, like in the Chinle area where you were talking about,
uh-huh.
specifically Canyon de Chelly, and there's this other area between Chinle and Saley called Del Muerto, and some people call this area so. There's actually a grave by Del Muerto, but there's also a road that goes south toward the canyon drop off, and there's a cave there. They call it, some people call it Mummy Cave or Massacre Cave, but there was a massacre there a long time ago when the army was coming through, and a bunch of our people were killed there. Same thing with Canyon de Chelly when people were getting rounded up before being sent to Valdez. A lot of people lost their lives, and so they say that at night you can hear the ghosts of those people, and I can verify that too because I went hiking. I went on a trip down there with this family. They have land down there, and we camped overnight, and you could hear those voices at night. It was a trip. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, did you hear that?" Well, yeah. But they're just like, don't be afraid. Like those are just the voices of our ancestors, that are still here. So, and then I think Valdez, that place has a lot of activity too because so many people lost their lives there.
Mm-hmm.
And then like along the trail, I have a friend who actually walked that trail, and they say you're not supposed to do that, but he did it, and he said you could really feel it, that presence
Mm-hmm.
and that sorrow, and just like all those real heavy emotions.
Yeah,
Hmm.